Good morning. I'm glad you could meet with me today.
Oh, the pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Well, I've read your resume and just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Tell me, how would you help a library user who walks up to your reference desk to find information?
Well, first and foremost, I would listen. I want to actively listen to their request and understand their needs clearly. Second, I would respond by clarifying any gray areas or vague terms, like if they ask for information on Windows, do they mean the computer system or do they mean glass panes in a building? Once I've asked those questions, I paraphrase what the library user is looking for to make sure that I've understood. Once they've confirmed that's what they want, I may even ask some follow-up questions, like have they performed any research already, and perhaps determine the scope and depth that they want to reach, as well as understanding their purpose, whether it be for school or pleasure or work or what have you. So once I know pretty clearly what they want, I think about where to get it. Libraries hold a wealth of information through various types of resources, so it is important to narrow down to the best option or two. If I know the user is looking for information that's very current, then maybe they would be better off with articles within the last few months using an online periodical database. If they're looking for a general overview, then maybe a subject encyclopedia will do the trick. So next, I would then guide the user through the search process, which is very key, using either the catalog or the online database, whatever we're using to find the resources. I would also use this time as an opportunity to gauge whether this individual may or may not need support using the technologies and navigating through this process. I would walk them through the process so that they feel empowered to do the searching independently and learn how to access this information for themselves, especially if they want to access it remotely. If they're looking through the physical collection, I can explain the layout of the library and the classification system and the way we organize it, whether it be the Dewey Decimal System, the Library of Congress system, whatever it is that we have to be using. I may even show them how to put holds on items if the material is in a different branch, or how to place interlibrary loan requests, as well as where to pick the items up once they actually arrive at our branch. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the material is here at that branch that day. Once we find the relevant sources, I would ask if this information is helpful, or if not, ask for more feedback so we can reposition the search with appropriate terms. Maybe they want something more broad or something more specific, in which case I can use filters or Boolean operators when searching to narrow it down or remove those filters or those Boolean operators to expand the search. Last but not least, once they've settled on something, I would give them space to explore what we have given them, the resources that they now have. But I would approach them again later just to check in on how the search is going and let them know that I'm here to help if they encounter any difficulties. So that's what I would do.
Excellent. Now, how would you grow the library resources when you have a limited budget?
That's a good question. Growing the library resources within an allocated budget is very challenging, but it is feasible. The first step is understanding the budget. We need to know how much we have. We need to know where those dollars are going or where they have been going. For example, if we have expensive subscriptions to journals and magazines and newspapers all in print that really aren't circulating in the library anymore or being used by the patrons, perhaps we're better to eliminate that cost and move to an online subscription model that may include multiple popular periodicals for possibly a lower or comparable price. So there's also open source and continuously revised versions of material that are digitally available, sometimes for free. So that's another option to investigate. Once we understand our budgetary, once we understand our budgetary model, we can see where to free up money. Next, we need to understand what is worth devoting that money to in terms of acquisitions, which involves excellent collection development skills with a very strong focus on pre-selection. We really need to evaluate our collection to see where we have gaps, as well as listening to the demands and needs of our library users to determine our priorities. If there are just too many areas to focus on, we have too many gaps, we can really develop a long-term plan to build them up over time, accomplishing one set of priorities now, and then another for the next budget. In some cases, we may have consortiums who can lend us items as needed from their collections, so why duplicate if the demand is not there? Each title needs to be more thoroughly evaluated for us to stick to our budget and manage our financials. We also have to rely a little bit on historical value as well, and look for those titles that have been so well circulated that it's worth the price that we pay for them. All of these factors play a key role in making decisions, and once we've made them, We need to stick to the budget and see it through. But of course, we must not forget to evaluate and assess our plans on a regular basis to make tweaks and retune if needed. That is, in my opinion, the best way to develop collections and resources and remain within a finite budget.
Wonderful to hear. Wonderful to hear. So tell me about your experience working with others and what you would do to foster teamwork.
Well, first of all, I think teamwork is absolutely essential for a library to run well. It is important for us to understand as well that we do not work in isolation in our little silo, but that we are all connected through our work. I have a lot of experience collaborating and working within a team. The most key aspect, in my opinion, is to have a common goal and a common vision to make sure that we're all on the same page and aiming for the same target. One way to achieve this is through open door communication. Everyone needs to feel comfortable asking questions if they're not sure of what to do, and certainly not be frightened to bring forward concerns or issues as they arise. Another way to accomplish this is to have regular team meetings so that we have that check-in and can reposition ourselves if we go too far astray. Plus, we can realign by providing status reports and can make sure that nobody's too far in front or too far behind, that we all remain synchronized with each other. And if I'm in the position that I'm leading a team, it is important to delegate as well with a good timeline, a set deadline for each task, and then give your team sufficient space and freedom to make their decisions and get the job done. Because this shows that I trust the team, I have confidence in them, I'm allowing them to continue to prosper and grow on their own without being micromanaged. When working in a team, it's also important to listen and understand each other's perspective. And maybe that is the most central thing, especially if those views are different than our own, which will bring us all full circle back to the vitality of communication and receiving messages just as much as we are sending them. We want to feel heard, we want to feel understood, so we need to hear and understand our teammates too.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Chelsey, and we'll get back to you soon.
Thank you so much. A pleasure was mine. Have a great day.